Good morning. Today we're going to do a live and we're going to reduce some stress and talk a little bit about the 28-day life reset and what people are experiencing in their journey. We're actually on day 23, so people are almost done. We've lost a lot of people along the way because it's a 28-day process, and most people don't commit for 28 days to anything. They want to, they try to, but they don't actually make it to the end. There are literally businesses that thrive on the fact that people sign contracts at the beginning of the year and they don't actually continue with the habit or the behavior or to use what they've purchased. For example, gyms. A lot of people on January 1st, they purchase a gym membership, they never use it for the entire year. So most people don't actually get to the end of 28 days. And I've seen some pivotal points along the way where people are dropping off. Day 10, there was a shift. Day 15, there was a shift. Day 18, all the way through to now, I've seen a number of people drop off, but also seeing some people double down. So I think about 2 days ago, there was a big shift where things started to feel a little bit different. And I'm curious if you're in the 28-day, put it in the comments and let us know. The 28-day, it runs every 2 weeks. So you can sign up and you can join. The next one would be on February 15th. But it takes about 11 days to do the prerequisites to warm up for it. So what we're going to do to start off is we're just going to do a movement together and then potentially bring some people up or talk about some stuff. Okay, so let's open up the shoulders a little bit. So what we're going to do, you're going to take your left hand, place it on your right shoulder. Right hand, you're going to grab the elbow and you're going to torque the fascia on the elbow and hold it there. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever you torque fascia on an area of the body, it starts to release because we have rotational tension around the bone. And one of the fastest ways to unwind it is to do this. Now, if you're stretching in 1 or 2 dimensions, you're not going to get that rotational force. So hold that there. Now, if you were to just hold this here and do nothing else, and you held it for 3 minutes, you would feel a massive shift in the tension in your shoulder, your elbow, and your arm. One of the things that I like to do as I'm becoming more familiar and more aware with my body is I'll actually start to pay attention to the sensations that I feel. And the sensations can be warmth, it can be cooling sensations, you could have tingling, buzzing, release, more flow. There's different ways to experience it. Even pulsing, like can you feel your heartbeat in that area? What about your fingertips? Are you noticing a shift? Now this is really easy to do. You don't need much to do this. You can do it seated, lying down, standing. And you can readjust if you need to. And you can also torque it either way depending on which way has more tension for you. You want to torque into the tension? So we're just going to keep holding this. I want you to see how powerful this is, just doing this on itself. We're not even breathing, just torquing. Okay, now shake that off. Whew. Okay, now feel the difference between sides. Feel the difference in your lung capacity. Do you feel like one shoulder dropped? Okay, I feel a little bit of tingling, change in temperature, change in flow. I feel like my shoulder dropped. I feel like it relaxed more. Okay, let's do the other side. So right hand on the left shoulder. Just place it there. You want to go at 90 degrees. Grab the elbow, and you're going to twist it one way or the other. Okay. I'm going to go out because that has more tension for me. And hold it there. Now you can hold this anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. Usually we guide people through 6 breaths, but I actually, when I was working with people before in the gym, because gyms are very calculated, you know, how many reps, how long are you going to do it for, what's the break? I would actually put a timer on in front of the client and hold it there. Buenos dias, Casa. Hold it there. Now, if you want to, you can move your arm around, but you can literally just hold it there. You don't need to do anything fancy. Okay, now relax. Shake that off. Wow, I feel my lungs, something's changing in my lungs. Also in my head, I feel more expansive. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's grab the wrist, right hand on the left wrist, and you're gonna grab right at the base, pull the skin down and push your hand through like you're putting on a glove, and you're gonna turn the fascia outwards and then turn your hand inwards and continue to push your hand through. Move your hand around a little bit. You might feel some cracking or movement. Remember, the bones float in the fascia. So if you have a restriction in your fascia, you're gonna notice a shift in your bones when you move it. The other thing, here's a question. If you were to put 2 bones in a fish tank and you hit them against each other, do you think that you would hear a cracking sound? Or the sensation, or the sounds that we hear when our bones crack? No. So is the cracking sound that we hear, and relax, actually coming from the bones hitting each other? Because if you hit 2 objects underwater, it's not going to make that loud of a sound. Okay, let's do the other side. So left hand, grab the right wrist, pull the skin down, push your hand through, turn the skin outwards, turn your hand inwards, and then move your hand around slowly. It's interesting because when we started the 28-day, I was doing only 1 class a day, and I was doing it in the morning. And there's an interesting that happens around day 18, 19, 20, where all of a sudden you get this craving to do it at night as well, to actually do it twice a day. I know there's a bonus class in the 28th day for people, but I do my entire practice in the morning first thing, so I don't do the organs later. And I have other practices I do throughout the day, but I noticed that I was like, okay, I'm gonna go do another class right now, and it was like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. And I've done that a few times now. So obviously when you start to build a habit, it becomes easier and easier and easier to do. Okay, now here's a really good one, especially if you're typing, texting a lot, for the thumb. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna point the thumb up on your left hand, and your right hand, grab the skin right here, right above the thumb, at the base of it, and pin it. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna curl your thumb in, creating a stretch on the top of the thumb there. I don't even think we have a video for this one. Okay. And then you can even grab it with your fingers and then pull it away. And shake it off. Let's do the other side. So you're gonna grab, remember, right at the base of the thumb. And the reason why you lift the thumb first is because then it's in a shortened position. All the fascia here is not as long. And then you're gonna curl the thumb down, grab it, and then push your wrist away. Now this one's actually super powerful. It's such a small movement, but you use your thumbs a lot, right? So you really want to get that moving. Move it around. Okay, good. Shake it off. Arms should be feeling pretty good now. Okay, let's do another one here. So this one's for the chest. There's a lot of tension. Like if you go in between the ribs, you can feel tension lines. And there's a lot of pressure in some areas. You'll have more than others. Like if I push between these two sides, they're different. So what you want to do is pin the fascia with your fingers and then pull it apart. See how I'm stretching my shirt? That's how I want you to stretch your fascia. And once you've got it, any point of tension, hold it and then just move around. What I love about all of these ones that we're doing right now is you can do them seated when you're at work. Literally, like when I'm in a call, like a Zoom call, I'm like pulling my thumb and twisting my wrist and all that fun stuff. Okay, next one. You're gonna pull the fascia down on the front of your neck. So pull it down and pin it. Once you've pinned it, you're gonna lift your chin up. Now this is a really good one, especially if you sit a lot. You can squat, rotate your shoulders opposite your head. Whew. Okay. Now, because we're changing pressure in the front, we got to do something in the back. So grab your ears, just grab them with your fingers and your palms and pull them back. And really pull them, like try to actually legitimately pull your ears off. And if you squeeze harder between your thumb or your fingers and your palm, it works better. Open your mouth a few times, move around, look up, look down, right, left. Whew. Good, shake that off. You might feel a little bit of blood rushing into the ears there. Okay, let's actually grab one ear at a time now. So left hand, grab the bottom of your right ear. Right hand, grab the top, left hand, grab the bottom of your left ear. Right hand, grab the top of your left ear. Pull the bottom forwards and the top backwards and twist it. And move around. Open your mouth a few times. Whew. And shake it off. Shake off your hands. Let's do the other side. Left hand, grab the top of the right ear. Right hand, grab the bottom. Pull the bottom forwards and the top backwards. Stretch it. Move around. Open your mouth. It's always funny when we do that one in like a park when people are walking by. I was like, what are those weird people doing? Okay, now feel your neck, feel your shoulders. Shake off your hands. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments. If you're noticing a shift. Okay, let's try something else. We're gonna play around a bit more with our hands. So I want you to really start to get used to pulling your skin, okay? You should have like baby skin. If your skin's tight, then it's not good. So what I'm doing here is I'm finding tension with I'm taking my right hand on the left and I'm using my fingers and I'm pulling the skin down on the front of the hand and then lock it and then move the hand forwards. So pull the skin on the hand down. We were doing it on the wrist before, but now I'm doing it on the hand. You can really use this technique anywhere and find the lines of tension. Okay, shake that off. Well, that felt really good. don't pull that part enough. I wonder if I can pull inwards now. Yeah, I'm gonna pull inwards. See, I'm just stretching the skin. I was at the beach with you every morning. It's genius and wonderful, and I think God has blessed me. You were with us or you were watching? By the way, if you guys want, I'm going to do the other side now. We've been recording on our YouTube all the beach meditations. So you can go watch them now and participate. My objective of doing that is to create a playlist where people who are more advanced with the fascia maneuvers, they no longer need the cueing or the coaching or the instruction, or they just don't want it and they know how to move. They can watch those videos and just move with the waves. So, okay, move it around. Whew, okay, that feels really good. And you know what's interesting about it? Let me pull something up here. It's so interesting because every day is different. And you're never going to get the same. And when you're in nature a lot, especially in a transition point of the day, like the morning, you really see how the waves, the wind, the moon, and the sun, and the nature around you reflects what's going on around you in the world. Like I find when the emotions are more intense, the waves are more intense, the wind is more intense. And you also see like every day the moon is right there, but now all of a sudden it's over there and it's not as big. And you can start to learn the patterns, and then you associate when the moon is over there and it looks like that, it means that people are more likely to experience this. This is really how they used to do it back in the day with astrology and astronomy. But now it's actually just us doing it because we're spending time in nature. A lot of indigenous cultures do this and they understand it. But if you want to, go to our YouTube. You can type in Beach Fascia Maneuver Meditations. And I'll show you a preview of one of them right now. So the beginning of the video is always like a little trailer of the day. But you can actually see yesterday's. Look at that. It came out like an egg. So that was pretty cool. And you'll see, you can actually listen and do your movements with the waves and the wind. So every day the waves are a little different. So you can just put this on, you can watch it as if you're at the beach, you can do the maneuvers or do your practice. Couple things. One, super good way to manifest because you're bringing yourself into an experience that might not be possible where you live or with your circumstances. So you can literally project yourself onto a beach with waves, and while you're moving your body, you're bringing those feelings and sensations into your conscious awareness, and you're more likely going to manifest. Like when we started going to the beach every single day, we did it 77 days straight. And all of a sudden we ended up living on a beach for a month straight. And that, I believe, was because we were in the energy of going to the beach every morning. We had to drive to it. All of a sudden, now we're living on one for a month. So I believe that there's a connection there. I don't think you can manifest like this, but I think you build a lot of potential. You build the connections. You build all the energy around it. You're constantly seeing it. Your subconscious is trying to find it in your environment. So this is a good way. And the people who were watching these when we were actually doing them live, a lot of them actually ended up coming to an event that we did, and they lived on the beach with us for a week. So yeah, they're really relaxing. Definitely worth going through. They're all different. Like every single day is different. Today was intense. Like, it was very cold, like very cold. Felt like a winter morning in Vancouver. And the waves were strong, like very, 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 very strong. I think last night they had like 3 to 6 meter waves. So I feel that in the changes that are happening in the world right now. I see a lot of transition happening, cleaning happening, things that are no longer in alignment are starting to separate. There's a division right now that's happening. And the division, it's an interesting one because they're in different ways and they're in different areas, but one of the divisions that's happening is, do you want to go tech or do you want to be more natural? And the tech world is all the innovation, all the technology, Neuralinks, brains, putting on Apple devices on your face. That world is blowing up like crazy right now. And then you're going to have the other side, which is more natural, wanting to be in nature, stuff like that. So there's a division that's happening and that line is separating right now. And people are no longer willing to do the things that aren't in alignment with them anymore. They had the patience and the capacity and the narratives or the excuses to allow them to continue to do things that they don't want to do. But if you look at even places like McDonald's now, they can't get people to work for them. So they're charging like $30 an hour. They can't get people to work for them. Can you check the contrast on your iPhone? Not sure what you mean by that. Okay, let's do another movement. So let's do sinuses. Just open them up. So you can just grab between your nose and your cheek somewhere. Doesn't matter where. You can just watch. As I pull, they connect. So find a tight connection and then hold it. Stretch it. I like to use my palm because you can get way more grip. Breathe. Stretch your face. Whew. Okay, other side. Stretch. Whew. Yeah, it's a funny one because I've been really thinking about the division that's happening in terms of natural versus technology. And I do think that there's a balance. It does enhance your life and it does give you some of your time back, but it can also overconsume your time. So I think at some point there will be ways to balance how much time you spend on technology, how much value that technology provides you, and how much time you're in nature. And I think you can live in both worlds. And right now we live in that world. We're a media company. So we're on calls all day. We're on lives all day. We're on tech. We're answering questions, building programs. So we do what we can to put ourselves in nature, whether or not it's living in nature, whether or not it's driving to the beach to do it. We make that a priority. And this is the year that people need to take care of their body more than anything. It's the highest priority right now is to take care of your body. How are people feeling in their bodies? Are you feeling like things are getting better? Are you feeling like things are getting worse? And are you doing the 28-day life reset or are you just starting? It'd be kind of cool to do a guided fascial maneuvers meditation over those beach videos too. Maybe record a voiceover. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that, but that's something I've thought about doing. I'm seeing a lot of health stuff come up in people around us. Day 23, more connected and more emotions. Detoxing. And Annetta, did you, oh, hi Tom.
Hey, Jason. How are
I'm
you?
doing well. How are you doing?
Okay. I didn't expect it. I was putting in a comment and didn't expect to be pulled up, to be truthful. But I mostly wanted just to connect in this brief moment because going through a heavy detox. I had planned to start the February 1st um, reset, but I got so sick last week, and it was actually after a weekend, interesting, of deep connection with people. My intention this year with my work and with friends is just really nourishing connection. It's what the work I do with schools is helping teachers and students and parents learn how to connect deeply, and I'm still learning how to do that, but I do it well. And it's really to see and affirm and help teachers and parents really see and affirm and love. And um, I think that intention happened a weekend ago with me with two dear friends who I had deep connections with, where it was so nourishing to watch and be with them, but also to watch myself and how present I am and how much I can feel and be with people and see them and affirm them. So it was a good thing. And then all of a sudden, the next 2 days, I had this strong intention for this year of being lighter, of being filled with more light and love. And then all of a sudden, I got sick, and Gary had suggested doing having my chiropractor, who's a great body worker, work on my gut, and I did for 2 weeks, and it brought incredible relief, lightness to my brain, clarity to my nervous system. It was euphoric. So I was doing that. I was doing all the supplements, some of the maneuvers. I have some back issues, but all of a sudden I not only got the flu and a cold really intensely, but I got this really, really bad rash. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually looking a little better, but it was pretty terrifying. And I reached out to Gary, and he's been kind, sharing a few suggestions. And I think I came on today mostly just to connect. And I've been feeling faced with well, I was out for 3 months with a detached retina, and I just got back and got my mojo going last weekend, got my vision for my year with my work, and then this hit. And it's hard to accept that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see once it got going to, and I know this is, or I want to believe it, that it's just cleansing. I'm letting go of stuff so I can raise my vibration, raise my work. But I have a job, after being out 3 months, I'm now back doing some work with schools, and I'm supposed to leave in a week. So, having this stuff and having the flu, it's challenging. And, it's nice to see your face this morning, because waking up, I have two sisters who are telling me, go see a doctor, and I know they're going to want to put me on some steroids or something, and that's not my path. And yet it's hard to trust this path of healing when you get worse before you get better. It's really it's just hard to lean into that trust. But I keep this morning envisioning what I want, the work I want to do with schools. I love helping people connect deeply and me connecting to them. So yeah, I got that mostly just, I think, for moral support. Anything you want to share too, because it's hard to be sick when you're alone too. I envy you guys in community. That's part of my vision too this year, is to be in community with more like-minded souls, and you guys are a good model of that, because to wake up and watch the ocean every morning and see you guys connected and doing your maneuvers, that's my vision for my life, is much more nourishing connection. So, but for now, I'm alone, and it's cloudy here in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, and not feel that great. I feel better, and this is looking better than yesterday. It was really, really red and scaly. So it's just, it's just trust in the process, and I welcome anything you want to share back to me. in terms of encouragement and support, because yeah, it's hard to get sick when you do try to do everything right for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And I intellectually understand it's just challenging to be on your own, doing these crazy things like sitting in the bath with earth and putting mud on my face, and the stuff that Gary suggested, chia seeds, and I'm doing everything. It's just sometimes it's discouraging, and hard to trust. So if you have anything to share, I'd really welcome it. Just the encouragement.
Mm-hmm. You know, this process of transforming it's a roller coaster.
Mm.
Um, there are many times I've wanted to jump ship, many,
Mhm.
and the emotional pain, the physical pain, the mental pain, it's something that I used to go through more, and then it was more, and then it was more, and then it was more, and then all of a sudden it was like slightly less, and then it was slightly less, and then it was slightly less, and now it's only every once in a while.
Mm.
And it used to be these extreme waves, like, whew, and I was on this roller coaster constantly of like, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? This pain of like the emotional pain is much worse than physical, and because it can sit with you for a long time, and so I sat with a lot of emotional pain through the process, and what I found was trusting and sticking to it, and leaning on the people around me, the community that we built, the people around me to support, just like you are right now. I think you're doing all the right things.
Mm.
Um, One of the examples I give in the 28 day is like if I haven't cleaned my room for a while, like look at like a college kid's room, right? You're gonna need a lot of bags to get that stuff out, and it's gonna be stinky, it's gonna be messy, it's not gonna be pretty. And that's our bodies today. There's a lot of stuff we've suppressed, especially as men. As men, we were taught to suppress our emotions, be a man, don't express yourself, fight through it, push through it. So busy trying to feed your family, yourself, and have security that the body was sacrificed along the way.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing too. And so if I didn't take care of this vehicle or my room for years and years and years, eventually stuff's going to have to come out. Now, depending on the age and depending on how someone treated their body prior to that moment, when you hit something that's truly helping you and you're doing all the right things in the moment and all of a sudden you get kicked off your pedestal, it's usually a breakthrough moment. That
Mm.
moment when I want to quit, it's like I did all the right things. I'm doing all the right things. Why am I experiencing this right now? I always know that right after that point is the breakthrough. And
Mm.
99% of people quit
Yeah.
right there. And I've done it. I've quit many times at that point. I've
Mm.
also continued, and even Human Garage and building Human Garage has been many of those moments. Like when you go from having 3 people working together to having 6 people working together to having 12 people working together to then building around the world, there's different pain
Mm.
points. And the things that I used to do at pain point number 1 are no longer going to help me get to pain point number 2. That's what they talk about in business, like if you want to build an organization or a team or even a school, the habits and the behaviors that you had to get you to like 100 students is different than when you have 1,000 students. You can't use the same processes, you can't use the same systems, you can't be the same person anymore. And the pain points come between the edge of person 1 and then the person 2 who's going where you want to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, sort of like that. You have to have as you evolve. You even need more new skills to evolve.
Yes,
What's
exactly.
needed to evolve higher is
Hmm.
different every time. Just
Yeah,
keeps you.
my level. So if I'm building a school and we have 100 students, when a student comes in, we greet all of them. They all get a T-shirt. They all get a hug. Blah blah blah. Now you have 1,000 students. That process is no longer going to work, and the
Right.
way I communicated with you as my teammate is no longer going to work. So there's going to be a lot of pain in that moment because we're going to be overwhelmed. There's 1,000 people. We're trying to do it the way that we used to do it. Now we're overwhelmed, and there's a breaking point, and that breaking point is a decision. And if we decide to do something differently, if we decide to commit and to continue moving forward, it will work out. We will find a way to make it work with 1,000 people. We just have to keep going. And most people quit right at that pain point between 100 and 1,000. And the same thing goes with our bodies. If you're doing all the right things and things are coming out, there's a breaking point. If you were doing nothing, sitting at home, just relaxing, and not taking care of yourself and things are coming up, that's an issue. Your body is saying, I've had enough. I can't take this anymore. I'm going to present you with something. But you're doing all the right things. It's coming up to let it go so that you can move to that next level.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you, what's a little strange to my brain is that there's such scaly, this is supposedly the meridian for the stomach and right there along the nose, but it's so dry that I've been taking all this good minerals through Irish sea moss, the diatomaceous earth, things to hydrate it. And I actually do think two things really precipitated too much detox was taking the P3, which they say on the label can irritate the stomach. I have a really sensitive stomach, and they say be careful if you have a sensitive stomach. But that plus the gut stuff of digging into my gut, which was so great at first, I think moved this ahead because I've been on supplements for about 2 weeks and never got the discharge, and it just came on so strong. The dryness is what's weird. Is I'm doing all these things to lubricate, and it's so dry. It's like counterproductive to my brain.
So
does that make sense?
There's an explanation for that. One of them is Irish sea moss removes mucus from the body. Mucus is where you hold all the toxins.
Say that one more time, will you please?
The Irish sea moss, it removes mucus, and mucus holds the toxins. Diatomaceous earth removes metals and parasites from the body. Both of those things require liquid. It requires water because water is a cleaning agent. H2O is a cleaning agent. What it does is it comes in, and if it goes over, like if you see a river and the water goes over the rocks, it pulls and cleans the rocks of the minerals. It takes them with it.
Yeah.
So it takes things out of the body. So when people take diatomaceous earth and they take Irish sea moss, more so diatomaceous earth, the first few weeks they actually become more dehydrated, or the feeling of dehydration, because it's cleaning first. Process number one, or phase one, is clean. It takes time to get to hydration. Hydration is the end of it. I'm still getting more and more hydrated every day. Like my skin feels like a baby skin. But when I first started taking diatomaceous earth, I had the same question. I'm like, why do I feel dry? I feel thirsty. I feel like I don't feel satiated. And so what I noticed was it was cleaning my body first. The Irish sea moss is the mucus. The diatomaceous earth is the parasites and the metals. And there's a lot of parasites and metals. Parasites in a lot of animal products. And the metals are in almost everything at this point.
Yeah.
So it uses a lot of water. The probiotics and the masszymes, the probiotics, or the P3OMs, they help facilitate the growth of healthy and good bacteria in your gut. So there's a war going on in your gut. There's 10% good bacteria, 10% bad bacteria, and then a bunch of dormant bacteria. And depending on the environment or the circumstances that you create, you start to encourage that dormant amount to come up and resurface. And that's why if you travel, you'll have that 80% in there. There's bacteria that you really don't want to activate. If you travel, you might actually facilitate them to grow. Now it's like colonies trying to take over your gut, and it's a battle for resources. Who's going to take the water? Who's going to take the nutrients? Who's going to take the minerals? So you have 10% good, 10% bad that are active, and then 80% that are dormant. You're right now putting in the P3OMs, you're bringing in more good bacteria. That's basically a civil war happening inside of your gut. It's a battle for resources, and that dynamic is changing. So you are now removing all of the chemicals, you're bringing in the good bacteria, and then the masszymes come in and they're cleaning out anything that's undigested. Because undigested food that sits in the intestines proliferates and it goes through the lining of the gut, and then that gets into your body and that creates autoimmune and all these other issues.
Mm.
So there's a whole series of things that are happening right now, and you're in phase one.
Yeah.
Phase one is cleaning, which means all the things that no longer belong in your body are going to come out. And one of the fastest ways to come out is through the skin. Another way it comes out is through your breath. Another way it comes
Mm.
out is through sweat. Another way it comes out is through your urine.
Mm-hmm.
Very small amount, but it does. And also fecal matter. So you've got all these different ways that your body's removing toxins and removing the stuff that you've been holding on to for a long time. So you're in phase one. Right now you're at a breaking point of which way do I want to go? Do I continue the behaviors that are going to get me to phase two, or do I go the other way? And what I'm saying is I've seen many people do this, and if they haven't cleaned their room for a long time, there's a lot of stuff in there that has to come out, and you're in that phase right now. And it's the toughest phase because it's, do you really believe? It's the most uncomfortable.
Yeah. Part of me wants to slow it down a little because these two presentations are so important in the next week. I
Mhm.
sort of continue and not push it to the limit, not go full tilt, because this was, besides this, I was just dealing with a cold and flu, which probably was a result of the same thing, probably the mucus coming out.
Mhm.
But if I take the earth diatomaceous and Irish sea moss, is it gonna keep pushing this to the full tilt? I don't think that's what put me over the edge. I think it was the deep gut work that put me
Yeah.
over. I just want to maintain, and then in March when it's a little freer and I can get a little worse, because last week it was. It's been hard to focus because between the head cold and the flu and then this stuff, So,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
know,
I think one of the things is the worst is probably over
yeah,
because you're already getting better. You're already coming out of the symptoms.
yeah,
You're now, so your physical, there's different layers. There's mental, there's physical, there's emotional, and there's spiritual. Right now, you had a physical detox, which then brought up all the emotions. So now
hmm
you're having an emotional detox.
yeah,
Do I believe? What does this feel like? I'm sad, my body, I can't believe this. I'm angry. I'm like, how could I have done this to myself? Am I going to be okay? Like all the emotions now come out.
yeah,
So you're releasing in layers.
mm,
And the you have the physical body that informs your emotions, and then your emotions inform a narrative, and your narrative then can help kind of close the loop. And it can go the other way too. But what I would say is the worst is probably over right
yeah,
now. Yeah. I think that you had something that you needed to get out of your body because your intention at the beginning of the year was to step into your light. And your consciousness is saying, okay, that's a great order. Let me take that down. And here's a way that I'll help you get there.
mm,
And it's not always comfortable. Like when I write down the where I'm going, all of a sudden all these options present themselves of how I can get there. So if I want to go to New York, I can run, I can swim, I can take a plane, I can take a helicopter, I can parachute in, I can take a bicycle, I can hitchhike, I can take a cab, I can get a ride, I can drive myself. There's like all these different ways that I can get there. But I need to make the decision first that I'm going to New York. You made the decision I'm going to New York. You landed on one of those paths, let's say helicopter, which is human garage, and now you've started to do all of these things to help you get there. Is it the only way to get you there? No. Is it maybe a faster way? Yeah, helicopter is faster than running, biking, swimming, walking, hitchhiking, for sure. But it's, you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different ways to get to the end result of what you're asking for, and it doesn't have to be solidified to one path. This path I have seen work very fast and very effectively for people, but it's not the only way. And
mm,
you're right now, you're already in the helicopter and you're like a quarter of the way there.
Mm.
So you can stop, go back and take another route, which is totally fine. But I actually think you're past that most uncomfortable phase. You're almost there.
Mm-hmm. That's good
Yeah.
to know. I intuitively think I agree with you. One other question for is the P3, they say on their website that can irritate if you have a propensity towards an ulcer, which I don't have an ulcer, but a tender stomach, irritated stomach sometimes. They were hesitant. I mean, that was so strange with a probiotic that would be the thing they'd write about. I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand. It makes me curious because this is the stomach meridian and the P3 is this flared up during that and the body work. So just trying to figure out maybe it's not a correlation. I don't know. But do you know anything about that? And the
So
P3 is
here's where I want to tie this in just as a separate note. We have the physical, then emotional, and now the mental or the narrative wants to understand to close the loop, right? So what we can do, uh, actually, here, stand up for a moment. You could put me down somewhere,
I'll put
and I'm going to have you do something. So just stand shoulder width apart, close your eyes, and feel your body. And then I'm going to ask you some questions, and I just want you to see, like, does your body move forward, backwards, sideways?
you.
Okay. What does yes feel like for Tom? What does yes feel like?
Seems like a slight leap
Okay. What does no feel like? Backwards.
going backwards.
Right. Okay. So is taking P3OM probiotics in Tom's highest good?
It leans forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I got a yes too for you. So that is that's the best way to do it, because my brain
Yeah.
has information that I've learned, that I've had conversations about, but my subconscious knows.
Yeah.
Because your subconscious has like 95% of the information. It's fully dialed in. The brain only has past experiences, memories, stuff we've read, stuff we've learned, the label, right? And then we try and create a narrative using the brain. But let's go to the body and have the body make the decision. Is this the right direction or not? And I do this with anything that I have a question about, like, should I put that in my body or not? I can just say, is this in the highest good of my body? Nope. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Not going to touch it.
Nice. That's good. That's a helpful tool. I will use that today because I can get lost in the swirl in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard. It's hard to in this society that so feeds fear and pharmaceuticals and that tradition to stay grounded in trusting the body. So yeah. Well, I thank you so much for bringing me up. It meant a lot just to my nervous system and my brain, and just to keep going here and not feel so isolated. And thank you for what you do at the garage, behind the scenes, up front here. You have a really caring way that you treat people and talk to people when you present, and I know you do a ton behind the scenes with tech. So I thank you as part of the team because it's meant something, especially during this year that's been a challenging year, to really see the potential of healing the body. So thank you very
Yeah.
much. I really appreciate the connection this morning a
Thank you.
lot.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
And also, when you're in the 28 day, because I know at some point you're going to do it,
Yes.
journal and get in the weekly meetups, because those weekly meetups, when we built this, what we did is we would meet with people every week in a group of like 15, 20, 30 people, and we would just share what we're going through. And the people in those calls who are running them have gone through our programs. They've gone through these experiences, and they are holding a space for people to just share, talk, connect. sometimes it's sharing, sometimes it's learning, sometimes it's just fun getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing people fly across the world and stay with each other and work together and
Mm.
build relationships and partnerships and all these other things. So, I mean, we had our first human garage baby not too long ago. Like somebody in our two people in our programs flew, met with each other, started dating, got married, and now they've had a kid.
Wow.
And that's just one example, but we have many people doing that now. And that's just the type of community that we've created. And I want that to continue to go on through all of our programs till the end, and where we actually build a global community. So feel free if you're in the 28th day to attend those calls and share, because the way that you share so authentically empowers others.
Mm.
And it means a lot when you come on. That's why I pulled you up, because I appreciate your authenticity. I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate your vulnerable sharing. It
Mm.
helps a lot of people way more than you know. When you share
Mm.
this, there's thousands of people experiencing exactly what you're experiencing, and when you share it, they don't feel alone. And then they feel more confident to be a part of a community, to share and to help others. So
Mm.
thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you very much. That means a lot. That's part of my mission and my work, to model that for people. So not that it is, but to have you acknowledge it and see it means the world to me this morning. Really does. And thank you again. Thanks for your work and for who you are. And
Thank you.
yeah, have a good
You
day,
too.
Jason. Take
Take care.
care, man. Blessings.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for today's live. Thank you, Tom. Such a kind soul. I've talked to him a couple times, seen him in our community, and he's really, really a good person trying to help people, especially in the school systems right now. We actually have a Parents Helping Children program launching. We're doing the beta test next month, but it's going to be launching publicly in the next few months. And that's to help parents help their kids, because the children being born today are being born into chemicals. And that is not a good thing. That's why we're starting to see a lot of diseases and issues show up in 5 and 6 year olds that we see in 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds. So, in order for that to happen, they had to be exposed to chemicals at a very young age. And the program that has been developed shares the supplements, the dosages, the movements, and some pro tips for parents to help their kids. One of the ways for if you're a parent is to help yourself. If you help yourself and reduce your stress, then the kid is offloaded. The second thing is, as the kid's stress or your child's stress decreases, then they're calmer, then they're easier to work with, and then when you ask them to do something, there's not a fight. So it just makes your life so much easier. All the time and all the resistance and all the issues that you have internally in your family because of health or because of something like that can be negated by a few movements, a few exercises, a few supplements, and cleaning your environment. And that's all shared in our Parents Health and Children program. So metal taste in your mouth, that's from the ileocecal valve, so digestive system. The intestines are opening up there. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll see you in Thursday's live. And if you're in the 28th day and you're almost there, keep going. Come on, don't give up. I want to see how many people can finish in 28 days. And if you don't finish in 28 days, that's okay. But we're not going to give you till the end of time to finish. You may have to restart it if you don't finish within 30-ish days. So make sure you finish, commit to it, do the work. I promise you it'll come back. I've had moments of ups and downs of wanting to give up or wanting to stop or wanting to, do something else or relax or whatever. And the emotions are intense. The changes in my body have been intense. Every single 28 day that I've done, it's been extremely transformative. So continue going and continue journaling, continue sharing, show up at the meetups, and take care of yourself. See you on Thursday.